可以啊。Hello, everybody. This is April from Maysky Stainless Steel Company Limited. Welcome to our live broadcast every Friday. Now we will share some news. The first, steel demand picks up worldwide. Steel demand increasing worldwide. One of the reasons is the outlook for 3.3 million tons of steel to be sold from Europe to the United States. Ensure industries are increasing coming out of lockdown. Aluminum prices are stabilized. Chinese thermal coal prices up by almost 10%, and the steel industry wants 500 billion euros from the Germany taxpayer. Steel demand has picked up as export in Europe following the EU to US settlement of the tariff dispute. The market assumes that EU steel producers have already reserved capacity to be exported to the United States as soon as the tariff rate quotas for products and EU member states are lower. This is likely to reduce availability in Europe and push up steel prices further. And then limited room for political maneuver for Europe left. The deal between European and the United States, especially with regard to Chinese steel and aluminum exports and the metal and poor requirements for steel, is likely to make it politically difficult for the Europeans to soften further anti-dumping measures, as was recently the case for aluminum, and ensures industries increasing coming out of lockdown. Several Asian countries, such as Malaysia and Vietnam, report that domestic industry are increasing coming out of the current lockdown, and low steel demand is expected to pick up significantly before the end of Q4 2021. Russia, high steel demand for HRC and plants. In Russia, steel demand for sheets and plants is currently increasing significantly. In addition, it's reported that the availability of steel is limited. Recently, prices of domestic steel had risen due to Russia export restrictions to 500 million euros for the Germany steel industry. During the Germany parliamentary election campaign, the SPD have already generously distributed billions of euros in election campaign gifts to the German steel industry. The last federal government steel action plan also promised millions in subsidy to Germany's steel producer, up to and including the full absorption of costs for emission certificates. Steel producers position their trade unions. Now the trade unions are starting to make demands of their own, apparently also controlled from the corporate headquarters. They want to modernize Germany steel with 500 million euros in tax finance subsidies and public investment. First and foremost, of course, Germany's largest steel producer, ThyssenKrupp Steel Europe. U.S. Federal Reserve to curb stimulus act. The Federal Reserve announced Wednesday, November 3, 2021, a 15 US million reduction in its current 120 US billion per month of stimulus supporting securities purchasing in November. With the program, the Federal Reserve is pumping additional money into financial market to keep borrowing rates low and stimulate the economy. If all goes according to plan, this should end in mid-2022. Subsequently, it's expected that they could be assigned first interest rate still at the end of 2022. Currently, the recommended U.S. federal funds rate is 0 to 0.25%. Positive market reactions on Federal Reserve decision. The major markets in Europe, Asia, and the United States and the relative insights such as Dow Jones, Nikkei, Hang Seng, and so on, have reacted positively to the expected Federal Reserve announcement to start tapering. Also, the commodity values on the fundamental exchange show today friendly. Overall, the market seems to expect further growth and thus increasing demand. Positive sentiment, Chinese demand for stainless picks up after Chinese stainless steel producers published their key prices on Wednesday. Suppliers on the market have stabilized and demand from the downstream industries picking up due to a good sentiment. Transactions are expected to increase further in the coming days. US and EU Alumina Association unhappy with quota solution. European Alumina and the Alumina Association are unhappy with the EU to US negotiate solution to the alumina and steel dispute between the two blocs. Tariff rate costs threaten free trade. The introduction of tariff rate quotas on alumina could only create further market instability. According to the association's long-standing value chains between Europe and the United States would not be just jeopardized. In addition, further countries worldwide could resort to quotas regulations, thus endangering fair and free trade. As we had already assumed, the EU to US solution in the steel and aluminum dispute will not only lead to chairs. Aluminum producers are therefore likely to have been only the first to take an active stance against this solution. Steel producers welcome quotas. The Steel Associations European and US had welcomed the quota in return. The Europeans in particular should be pleased that they can now sell capacities to the United States. And next, I will introduce our factory. and the tube production process by some pictures. Our factory, established in 2001, is one of the largest suppliers of stainless steel wet tubes in China. Our factory located in Foshan City, which is only 1 hour far from Guangzhou. When you come to China, welcome to visit our factory. We own more than 72 production lines and 18 polish lines. Next, let us see some pictures about the tube's production process. The first picture. These are the stainless strips. It's the raw materials of the stainless steel wet tubes. We will install the strip on the runner, and when the machines run, the strips will go into the machine. One strip corresponds to the size. You can see it. And our material is 201, 304, 304L, 3616, and 316L, and 430. And next, bending. And then it will bending the material into the shape and size which we need, like round and square, rectangular shapes. This is a roll shape tubes. After the raw materials form, and then it will enter the welding process. Our welding way is TIG welding. And the four, then when we welding finish, then it will cooling the tube by water. You can see this is the water cooling the tubes. And now we can cut the tube into the length, cutting the tube into the length which we want. In general, we will cut the tube in 6 meter, 5.8 meter, or 6.1 meter. Some customers also require the length to 3 meter or 4 meter or 7 meter. These all are workable if you need. It's cutting. This is a red square tube. You can see it. And this is the final process in production, polish. We can do mill finish, brush, polish, and mirror surface. Then, after finish the production, our quality control department will check the tubes piece by piece. Before package, they will test the size. They will test the size, the thickness, the size, and the strictness. And check the surface, quality check. It's a strict process. And the A package. Then into the packing steel. Each tube will pack into one plastic bag. Sometimes we will use clear polar bag for 304 material tube and red or blue tubes, color polar bag for 3.6 material. And this is our one tube for flat polar bag and several tubes for a bundle. Each bundle weight is about 300 to 500 kilometers. And when finished, all the process, finish the package, all the tubes will put in our warehouse and waiting for loading. You can see the warehouse. They have a different color on the bundle. They design the material. And then this is the last step. Arrange the loading. We will push ceilings on each bundle and the forklift will fit the bundle into the container. You can see it. We will put ceilings on each bundle and forklift will lift the bundle into the container. This is our entire process from production to shipment. If you still have questions, send us email. Here's our contact information. You can send us email if you have the question. Contact welcome. And now let me share something about our products. For our products, we manufacture stainless steel wet tubes, sew tube, and something fittings. We have the 201, 304, 304L, and the 316 and 430 materials. And about the surface finish, there are mill finish, brush, polish, and mirror. You can choose you need. And for mill finish, some customers are called as 2B surface. For stain finish, we have G180, G240, and G320 for choose. Some of our European customers also call they are the polished surface. Different countries have the different name. You can see this. And it's the G400, G600, and G400 and the mirror surface. And last, we show you the products. The first, you can see this is the brush roll tubes. You can see it. We also have the square tubes. Square tube and roll tube for brush surface. And this is the polished surface roll tubes. You can see the surface. is different from the mirror surface. You can see the different. This is mirror surface and this is the brush surface. It's square tubes. Like a mirror. And this is row mirror surface tube. You can see it. Clear surface. And otherwise, in addition, we also have the slow tube, slow square tube, and slow row tubes. You can decide you need. We also have the factory tube, industry tubes, like this. It's a mill finish surface. Inside planking and inside bare raw mud. It's a industry tube. We also have the sanitary tube. It's different from the other web tubes. It's inside polish and surface is brush surface. In addition, we also have the small size like this. It's a small size tubes, row tubes. We also have some stainless steel fitting. Our fitting. This is our fitting catalog. You can reference, and you can choose you need. And we will pay more attention to the detail when packaged. Our quality control person test the size, the thickness, and the length. You can see it. Make sure they can meet the tolerance of the size. And we will check the surface, make sure there are no the sand holes, scratches, and also the surface finish is meet customers' requirement. And we will check the side and make sure the size. Make sure the tube is straight and without bending. Straight. Thickness and the thickness. Then it's about the standard of our tubes. Our regular standard is ASTM A554 in Europe. It also called EN 102696. You can see this. This is our standard. See the details. We also should produce the 8270 standard tubes. Is the sanitary tubes. Usually requires the inside polish and inside band remove process. For the 302312 and the EN 102177 standard, we also can do if you need. And then is the material test certificate for 201 material. It has 1% nickel and 30% cadmium. For 304 material, it has 8% nickel and 80% cadmium. For 316 material, it has 10% nickel and 6% cadmium. If you want the company empty material test certificate, please send us the email. If you need, please send us the email. And we also prepare some sample for our customer, like the roll tube 42.4 by 2 millimeter. Surface is brush surface, and there are 304 and 316 material for choose, like the square tube 16 by 16 by 1.5 millimeter or 2 millimeter. Surface is brush surface. Materials 304. If you want to receive the sample, welcome to send us the email. Tell us your inquiry. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.